Hello and welcome. This is a reading for Gemini for March 2023. Welcome to the table, Gemini. I have pre-shuffled the cards, but I will shuffle them again for you. I'm an intuitive reader. I use a 10-card spread, so 5 cards along the top row and 5 cards along the bottom row. I talk about each one of those cards as they come out. I hold them up so you will be able to see them. You will notice that some of the cards have got stickers on them. This has been done to protect people who are sensitive to nudity. I do apologise to the artist who created the cards. They've put a lot of love and effort into creating the cards, so that's just the way it's going to be. I'm sorry. I do have flowers from my garden. I hope you enjoy them, and the crystals have been in their salt bath. So let's begin with the reading. I hope you're travelling well through 2023, Gemini. I do have a message for you, actually. I did, while I was making preparations for cleaning the table, I did actually see a lot of flying animals with a star behind them. I'm going to suggest perhaps that in the month of March, Gemini, your intellect and your intuition may be at its height. That's what I kind of took as a message from the images that I saw. Okay, let's begin the reading. The High Priestess has fallen out, which is rather interesting because it's more or less, but it's in the reverse position. But I was talking about intuition, so let's have a look. We'll talk about that card later on. Okay, let's begin. So we have Temperance. First card out on the top row. Judgment. Second card. Page of Pentacles in the upright position. 3 of Wands in the reverse position. 5 of Swords in the reverse position. On the bottom row we have got Queen of Swords in the reverse position. Page of Wands in the reverse position. 9 of Cups in the reverse position. The Tower in the upright position, and the 8 of Swords in the reverse position. On the bottom of the deck, I'll show you. I'll take a look. Okay, we've got the 5 of Pentacles. I think you've had this card many times in your readings lately, Gemini. I do apologise. I certainly am not trying to stack the deck. It does seem that card is coming out for every reading that I do for you. Okay, so let's have a look at Temperance. As you can see, this is someone who's trying to balance their intuition, their intellect, their subconscious and their conscious mind. This is also a card of healing. So for those of you who've been feeling low or sick or not in your full power, this is a card of healing on the table. So that's quite a nice start. That's always a good thing. Here we've got Judgment. So as you can see here, the cosmic light is being shone on you. So this is where Judgment is coming on to see what role you've been playing in your life. Are you living the kind of life that you want to live? Is this the kind of life that you expected to live? Are you living for your highest good? This is also a card that can be an announcement or a declaration, or it can be an announcement coming in or an announcement by you. This is also the card of resurrection. So possible resurrecting something that perhaps you'd put aside, or a second chance at something. Here we've got the Page of Pentacles. Now the Page of Pentacles is a youthful, young energy. So this is young, creative energy. This is somebody perhaps who's just starting work or starting a new job. This is a new project, perhaps, something where you may be earning some money from this project. It's anything to do with the material world. So perhaps starting something, perhaps you've just decided you're going to start baking cakes. You've never baked cakes before. This is that sort of energy. Perhaps you've decided that you're going to start repairing cars. This may be something you've never done before. Again, this is that same kind of energy. So it'll be a beginning and sort of creative energy. Someone who's not fully experienced in this element that they're taking on. So it's quite a young energy, as I said. So This can be young people or just a young energy, somebody who hasn't had lots and lots of experience undertaking what they're doing. But, you know, the fact that it's a pentacle card, it's probably some money coming in with that. So 3 of Wands, it's a beautiful energy. This is a lovely card. This is always a nice card to have on the table. It's in the reverse position, and I would assume at this stage you are unable to move forward. Perhaps you were hoping to venture forward, perhaps you were hoping to travel. It could be that you were hoping just to broaden your horizons, and that does look like that could be delayed somehow. Because this is a card of expansion, going out, reaching out into new areas, new territories. If you have got a project going, perhaps looking to expand your business. So this is definitely a card of expansion. And because it's in the reverse position, I would suggest that there's going to be some delays. Got the 5 of Swords. Now the 5 of Swords, you can see on this portrayal, this is sort of a teacher giving a warning or a reprimand to someone perhaps in the classroom, or perhaps this is a father figure giving a reprimand to children in the room. So this is a card of words, and it can be harsh words. It can be also self-sabotage. This is not always the most pleasant energy. As you can see, I don't think I would like to be on the receiving end of this lecture, so to speak, but it can be just words spoken too quickly or without thought. It can be that somebody is not caring what they're saying to you, so they're being hurtful. You know, this is a card of words directed perhaps in anger or in haste or without consideration. We've got the Queen of Swords in the reverse position. This is someone using their intellect, their wisdom, their intuition. So this person is very sharp and highly intuitive. It's in the reverse position. Again, I'm thinking the one thing about the Queen of Swords, Queen of Swords, is that when the Queen of Swords is not in her strength of element, she can be quite cutting. She can be quite harsh. You know, she knows the truth, and she uses her intellect, but occasionally when perhaps she's tired or not feeling her best, then her words can do more damage than she realizes. Here's the Page of Wands. Again, this is a highly creative, energized energy. This is a youthful energy again. This can be sexual energy. So this can be sexual energy that's sort of perhaps being held back for somebody who actually would like to be more explorative. It can also be a creative energy that hasn't quite yet found its target. So sometimes you are burning up inside to do something creative, but you can't quite find what it is you really want to do. So that's that energy here. But you know, the energy is there, as you can see. It's pulling the energy down from almost the electricity is charged from the cosmos. So sometimes you just have that burning desire to get going, to get moving, to do something. But for some reason there's blockages, and you may not have the time to think about what it is you really want to do. You may not have time to actually think about all the things you need to do to get a project off the ground. Here we've got the 9 of Cups. So this is usually traditionally about getting all the things that you have wished for, but it's in the reverse position. So perhaps you feel like some of your wishes are not coming true, or perhaps you feel like making your wishes come true is a real struggle. This person is very languid and having a lovely lay back on the couch and out in the sunbed and having the angels filling her cup. Perhaps you feel like, when is it my turn? When is it my turn? You know, when will I ever get a turn to enjoy life and relax and not have to be concerned with other people's worries or delays and setbacks? Here you've got the Tower. Okay, this portrayal in this image is rather interesting. Now, the artist has done that for a reason. Can you see that the person is sitting in the top of the tower and they are sort of meditating, sitting there? The lightning has struck the tower and the tower is starting to crumble. The birds are scattering, but that person continues to sit there and meditate. So this is sort of a card, and in this case the artist is suggesting that perhaps you're not realising that your world around you is starting to fall apart. Perhaps the world is falling apart and you are daydreaming. It also means perhaps that you need a bit of a reality check. That can also, that's what the card is also saying to me today. Perhaps in need of a reality check, perhaps things that are not for your highest good, you continue to drive towards those things, and this is where this is sort of like what I would call divine intervention. This is where the lightning strikes the tower to bring down the things that you've set up around you, the things that you want to set up around you but may not be in your best interest in the long term. So, these are questions you have to ask yourself, because there's a thunderstorm in the background and the lightning has struck that tower. Are you not looking at things that you should be looking at? Perhaps too much daydreaming, thinking about the things you would like to do. There's definitely some sort of setback and delay here, so maybe you aren't able to complete all the projects that you have put in place for yourself. And rather interesting, it's showing here also, can you see the person riding on the back of the bird? Which is interesting because, as I said, I kept getting sort of little visions of birds and bats and creatures of the air flying, but in the background there was also stars. So, perhaps you are daydreaming a lot or having flights of fancy. That I guess flights of fancy probably sums it up. Okay, here we've got the Eight of Swords. So this is a little bit of feeling trapped. It's in the reverse position, so again, being trapped in your mind, not being able to free yourself. You can easily get out of this situation, but it's very hard sometimes when you're inside this mental cage, and we all do it. We get inside our head and we go round and round, and this is kind of the same sort of thing here. This wishing, this dreaming, when is it my turn? How do I get out of this? How do I create this thing for myself that I'd like to do? I'd like to be able to express myself. I'd like to be me. I'd like to have my turn at something, and perhaps not being able to get out of your head about that. So that's what's come to me while I've been looking at these cards. As I hold the cards up, Gemini, if you see something that is different to what I'm saying, by all means take that on board, because that's why I hold the cards up. I like you to see what I'm seeing, but your interpretation might be different. I'll talk about this Five of Pentacles and this High Priestess later on. It doesn't feel appropriate right now to talk about them. Okay, let's have a look at this Temperance card. All right, we've got Justice. I'll move along and put the cards down. On the Judgment card, can we have clarification for Judgment? So the Page of Cups, again, that youthful energy. Page of Pentacles, we have the Two of Wands. King of Cups. To the Five of Swords, what have we got? The Lovers. Queen of Swords. We have got 9 of Swords. Page of Wands. We've got the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So also the 9 of Swords was in the reverse position as well. 9 of Cups. We have 5 of Cups in the reverse position. We've got the Magician here with the Tower. That's rather interesting. 2 very potent cards together. And the 8 of Swords. We've got the Queen of Swords. Now you had the Queen of Swords here at the beginning in the reverse position. Here she is in her perfect element. So this will be the card that I was talking about. So this is you in your strength, Gemini, using your intellect, your wisdom, you know, your creative way with words, your intuition, all of that knowledge that you have. And Gemini is noted for being sharp and flexible in the mind. So here you are in your full element at the end of the reading, which is beautiful. I'll show you the bottom of the deck. So at the bottom of the deck, we've got the Queen of Pentacles. Lovely. Okay. I'll put her there. Okay, I'll talk about these cards as we come out. You do have Justice. So Gemini, this is you finding balance, you making a good decision, you using your intellect, your sharp sense of perception of knowing what's right, knowing what's wrong, knowing exactly where to make the cuts, knowing exactly how to measure and balance things. So that's kind of nice. That is actually what Temperance is asking you to do. So you do have both of them. So Temperance is finding that perfect balance, and Justice finds that perfect balance. So that's lovely. So right at the beginning of March, it does look like you will be finding that perfect balance, which is lovely. So here we have the Knave of Cups. So the Knave of Cups is, you know, somebody young and youthful again. You've got this very young energy. So this is sort of Page of Cups. This is somebody who is, again, dreaming about love and expressions of love, waiting for somebody perhaps to offer you an apology. It could be that you're waiting for a declaration of love from someone. You know, perhaps you need to make, if you need to make an apology, that can also be the same energy here. So perhaps you need to make that apology. That's possible because in the background, as you can see, the waves are quite choppy. So if you've had some choppy times, or you've been exposed to some arguments or debating or lots of sort of, I'll call it disharmony, then perhaps you may need to make the apology. So that could either be waiting for an apology or making the apology yourself. Here we've got the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands, as you can see, this person would dearly like to step out and broaden their horizons. Very, very much wants to go forward, looking at the world. So you've got this Page of Pentacles, so this is something you've started, a project that you've started. You would dearly, dearly, dearly love to be able to expand. Whether you have the experience yet to expand or not, this is quite a positive card. This is actually taking the next step. So somewhere you find the time to work out how to take the next step. Besides that, the next card along, of course, is the Three of Wands in reverse. So what it is saying here is, by all means, take the next step. Don't, and in this case, because this is in the reverse position, don't bite off more than you can chew all in one go, okay? You're better to take a small step and succeed than to take a step that's too big and to fail. Particularly if this project is something you'd like to continue with in the long time. So this is suggesting to you that you take a small step forward rather than taking a big step and then sort of falling on your head, okay? We've got the King of Cups here. So King of Cups, I'm not quite sure if this is an energy already in your some immediate surroundings or an energy coming towards you. But the King of Cups is loving and creative and gentle and kind. He is also a more mature figure, so perhaps you are receiving some assistance from somebody to help bring you forward with your project. That could be the case. But otherwise, this is somebody who has stood the test of time, that it doesn't get bowled over when the situations become difficult, when there are the struggles going on in your family life. Sometimes in a marriage there are arguments and debates and struggles, and other times are more calm and placid and harmonious. So this person is not easily bowled over. As you can see, they're on the rocky sea there on their buoy, and the bell can ring all it likes, but they're not going to fall off that. They're sitting there quietly with their cup in their hand. Okay, so this is somebody who can weather the storms. Okay, all right, now we've got the Lovers. So hopefully you've already got this person in your life, somebody who can help you weather the storms of life. That is because having someone like that by your sides gives you enormous strength. Here you've got the Lovers card. So I'm assuming that you do have this person by your side. Any harsh words or sharp words that have gone before, definitely you may need to do that apology, okay? Because having this Lovers card here is a beautiful energy, particularly if you've got somebody strong by your side. You've got the Nine of Swords. This is on top of the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is probably more a person who's spoken harshly, or maybe not used their best intellect or their best wisdom, or made the best decision. And here is this anxiety. Both of these cards are in the reverse position. So here is this anxiety and upset that comes from when you recognise that you've perhaps not been your best self. So this is fears and worries and anxieties. And we all have those, okay? But there are moments when we have more of them. And it's rather interesting because this depiction here, with the Queen of Swords here, this is a representation of Medusa. So it's kind of like, you know, the Queen of Swords, you can in your highest power, you know, the words flow and you have massive wisdom, and you know, everything is just beautiful, and you can cut through the atmosphere and create great clarity and insight and wisdom. In its reverse aspect, it's all the negative aspects of somebody with a sharp tongue, or somebody who's using their speech in a less than ideal way. Okay. Now we've got the Nine of Pentacles. So Nine of Pentacles is traditionally associated with somebody who's got self-respect, someone who's earned their money, somebody who's comfortable in their wealth. They have independence. So this would be, you know, it's always about independence and somebody on their own, somebody having created money on their own. I would suggest perhaps that this is part of this Page of Pentacles energy here, where you're hoping to get this project going so that you can perhaps have some financial independence, some self-respect, something that brings just you some credit. It's always nice to feel that you're able to shine and to bring something to your own life. It's that self-recognition, something that makes you a bit proud. It's not necessarily an ego out of control. It's just being proud of yourself for doing something. So perhaps that sense is not coming to you at the moment, which is rather interesting because in this depiction you notice they've got a bird in a cage. This bird is not in flight. Remember I told you I had those little visions of birds in flight with the star behind them. Now this bird is not in flight. This bird cannot fly around and be independent and be that star. So perhaps that's that little bit of ego that sort of feels a little bit caged, that self-expression that's caged. And that could be what it is. It's that that desire to be able to express yourself that feels a little bit caged, a little bit trapped. Here we've got the Five of Cups. In the reverse again, as you can see, the cups are blue, so feeling perhaps a little bit blue, a little bit sad, perhaps some grief. You've still got 2 cups in the upright position. 3 have been spilt, or 3 are empty. You've already tasted what was in those cups. Perhaps you didn't like the taste of anything in that cup. You've still got 2 there. Perhaps sometimes when you are feeling a little bit like there's a challenge, you know, these are challenges for you. When there's a challenge, it's sometimes difficult to be enthusiastic to keep going. But you do need to keep going, okay? And it's interesting that it's on top of the 9 of Cups. When will it be my turn? So perhaps you're feeling very much that it's not your turn, and you would dearly like some time for it to be your turn. And sometimes you have to wait many, many years before it's your turn. And it can be a long, long wait. I know that myself. So, you know, eventually it does get to be your turn, but sometimes there can be even decades in between that time when you get to have the things of your heart's desire, or ways of being able to express your heart's desire. Here we've got the Magician. This is a lovely card to have on the table. This is showing that you do have everything you need. You even have the fire, you've got the passion, you've got the cup, you've got the emotional commitment to it, you have the intellect towards it. You just may not be in alignment at the right time. The element that's not shown on this card is a watch or a clock. And that can be that it's just not the right time. So the magic is there. I think you do have what it is I think you have everything you need to create what you need to create, what you would like for your heart's desire. But perhaps the time is what's missing from here. I do think everything else is in place. That's something actually you can't manipulate or control. And I do feel that perhaps it will be given to you at the right time. That's what I'm getting from this card today. Okay, we've got the Queen of Swords at the end, so this is this lovely energy of you being in total positive aspect of yourself, with clear thinking, good speech, wisdom, knowledge, intuition, all being pulled down so that you are at your best. This is you at your best, Gemini. And you can see here, there's a bird flying on that card. Okay, now I will talk about these ones up the top here. And I was talking to you about intuition when this card fell out. It fell out in the reverse position, so perhaps you may need to wait until the end of March for this aspect of yourself to be in the upright position. So this is going within, and you know, normally the High Priestess would be going within. She would be cloistered away, having some solitude, finding some time to think and consider and reflect. You've got the Five of Pentacles, so here we've got the Five of Pentacles. Perhaps you're feeling that you are losing a little bit of hope, and it can feel, particularly as I said, if you're waiting for some time for yourself, you know, when you would like to be this person who shines and has, you know, gets a little bit of credit for something and feel like you're glowing and achieving, you know, if it's in the reverse aspect here with the Five of Pentacles, it does look like that you may have to wait a little bit longer. You do have the Queen of Pentacles, though, in the upright position at the end of the reading. So that is telling me that you probably will get where you're going. You may just need to sit on it a little while. Okay, your ideas, you may just need to sit on those for a little while. Okay, keep looking at them, keep polishing them up. Whenever you get a chance, refine your ideas. think about how you're going to manifest that, because as you can see, she's wearing the little crown with the flames. So give it some thought, put more energy into thinking about it, because the more you think about something, by the time you get ready to manifest, if you've dotted all the T's, in other words, this is a card of sort of make sure that you've documented for yourself anyway, that you've documented all the little fine details about what it is you're hoping to create and how you hope to execute that in the long run. So, you know, get yourself a journal, make sure you've written everything down so that there's nothing that you've missed, because in everything you do, it's surprising when you think that you've covered everything and then there's something that you've missed. And it's rather interesting. I was talking about the cards at the beginning and how I put stars on some of the cards. I'll see if I can find one because none came out. Here's one, and I'll just show it to you because there you go. I've put a star on her chest. Now, I was not aware that the tarot cards, the nudity portrayed on the tarot cards, would be offensive to people, but I've since discovered that apparently it is. So when I started doing my tarot readings, this was something I was totally unaware of. And so these are the kind of things that, you know, you're not always aware of all the aspects of what it is you're hoping to manifest. So, you know, think it over, sit on it a little while longer. I do think you will get there, but maybe not now. That's what I'm feeling, even though the Magician is, again, the Magician is saying the same thing. Maybe not quite yet. The only element missing from the Magician's table is the time. I'm going to leave it there, Gemini. I do hope this reading's helped, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.